Welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Last time we returned to the moon, so this time we're starting out with the final heart piece. Once again, let's head over to the tree. On the way there, I wanted to mention that you might want to keep the bunny hood for one of the last masks you give up. Because you have to run to the tree constantly, it actually would save a lot of time if you kept the bunny hood for the duration of this area. Over here, we have the final child with twin molds remains, so let's equip some more masks and talk to them. Ah, nice weather, isn't it? Masks, you have a lot. You too. Will you be a mask salesman? Then I'll play with you. So, the masks, give me some. More. 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 Thanks. You're a nice person, aren't you? Hide and seek. Let's play. Alright, I'll hide. Finally, we have a section for Link's human form. By the way, the line, "You're a nice person," was changed to "You're a nice person" in the 3DS version. Alright, let's head inside. First up is another Dinalphos. And with our current equipment, that fight is a piece of cake. Next up is another Garo Master. Once again, we have to dodge their attacks and encounter, while also being aware of their counterattack. In general, I actually prefer the teleporting move. I find it a lot easier to counter than the actual dash. Alright, we have to use the hook shot to get to the upper ledge. You got a bundle of 30 arrows. And our final opponent in this area is another Iron Knuckle. You got 10 bomb shoes. Set them to C left, C down, or C right on the select items screen. Press C to arm one of these wall climbing bombs, tap C again to launch it. This time, we don't have a way up to that upper ledge right away. Instead, we actually have to blow up that cracked part of the wall using bomb shoes. My advice would be to stand as far away as possible like this, and then basically equip them, and then let the timer tick down for a few seconds before releasing. As you can see, the Bombchew's blast radiuses are surprisingly generous, actually. You got a piece of heart. You've assembled a new heart container. Your maximum life energy has been increased. And with that, we've maxed out our life meter. But we're still stuck in this area, so once again, we have to use a Bombchew, but this time, we have to blow up a part of the ceiling instead. Similarly, we're going to stand as far away as possible, and then let it, and hold it for a few seconds before releasing it. That might be too soon. You found me. Hey, I want more masks. More. 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 Heh heh, thanks. You're nice. Can I ask a question? Your true face. What kind of face is it? I wonder, the face under the mask, is that your true face? And with that, all that's left is to fight Majora again. So let's head over to the tree one final time, but before we talk to the child with Majora's mask, there's actually something that I should have shown off a lot sooner. Let's also equip the bottle of Chateau Romani while we're here, and I want to go over the Bomber's Notebook. This is basically a compendium of various events throughout the game. You have a bunch of different characters listed, about 20 if memory serves, in this version, and it basically lists things like the rough time estimate of when you actually get certain items within a cycle. So at the top you have the first day, second day, and third day markers to indicate like roughly when these events would happen, and we also have like heart pieces listed by the ribbons, and these little mask icons indicating any masks we've gotten from various characters. In the 3DS version, the Bomber's Notebook was expanded significantly, actually. If I'm not mistaken, it actually has about 60 entries compared to this game's 20 or so. And it includes a lot more side quests, basically any like heart piece tied to a character, like the doggy racing and the Honey and Darling minigames, I'm pretty sure, are all counted. Even things like the lottery numbers for the lottery shop are even included in the 3DS version. So the 3DS version is much more comprehensive, and I'm pretty sure there's even like an alarm feature where you can basically set an alarm to notify you when it's a certain time of the day to remind you to go and see a specific event. The medals on the side also indicate that we have completed the events, so in this version at least, we have a completed Bomber's Notebook. Alright, let's drink our bottle of Chateau Romani, then talk to the final child. Everyone has gone away, haven't they? Will you play with me? You don't have any masks left, do you? Well, let's do something else. Let's play good guys against bad guys. Yes, let's play that. You got the Fierce Deity's Mask. Could this mask's dark powers be as bad as Majora? Try it on with C. Are you ready? You're the bad guy, and when you're bad, you just run. That's fine, right? Well? Shall we play? Once again, we have to defeat Majora, but this time we're Fierce Deity Link. In this form, we have the Helix Sword, which is one of the strongest swords inherently, but it also has a unique property. If you Z target, you'll notice the sword starts to glow. As long as we have magic, we can fire sword beams with every attack, and the sword beams have the highest base damage of any attack in Majora's Mask. However, this drains your magic really quickly, so if you're planning to use the Fierce Deity's Mask, I highly recommend drinking a bottle of Chateau Money to give yourself infinite magic. Alright, let's demonstrate the mask's power on Majora. And we've already moved on to phase 2 with the boss's remains. One sword beam is enough to take out each one, so let's deal with them and then turn our attention back to Majora's Mask. Next up is Majora's Incarnation, which isn't terribly threatening anyway, but is even more of a pushover in her current form. Finally, we have Majora's Wrath. Despite being Majora's last and most powerful form, it's surprisingly easy to defeat with sword beams. Ah, he's awake. You guys, you hadn't forgotten about me? You still thought of me as a friend? Did you save me? I thought they didn't want to be friends with me. But they hadn't forgotten about me. Friends are a nice thing to have, heh. Could you be my friend too? Hehe, you have the same smell as the fairy kid who taught me that song in the woods. I know, let's do something. Oh, so the evils left the mask after all. Well, now I finally have it back. Since I am in the midst of my travels, I must bid you farewell. Shouldn't you be returning home as well? Whenever there is a meeting, a parting is sure to follow. However, that parting need not last forever. Whether parting be forever or merely for a short time, that is up to you. With that, please excuse me. But my, you sure have managed to make quite a number of people happy. The masks you have are filled with happiness. This is truly a good happiness. Well, both of us have gotten what we were after, so this is where you and I part ways, isn't it? You know, it was kind of fun. Well, it's almost time for the carnival to begin. So why don't you just leave and go about your business? The rest of us have a carnival to go to. Link! Thank you. With that, we've defeated Majora and saved Termina once again. If you were to reload your save file at this point, you'd still have the Fierce Deity's mask, and you'd also get all of your other masks back as well. By the way, a couple scenes will actually make more sense this time, now that we have every heart piece. For example, the Indiegogos are playing the song that Evan stole from Mikau and Japas, and gave us a heart piece in return. Similarly, with the Rosa sisters, they will know Kamaru's dance as long as you've collected Kamaru's mask. It's not dependent on actually teaching them the dance. Returning to the subject of the Fierce Deity's mask, it can only be used in boss arenas and fishing holes in the 3DS version. It can actually be used to catch rare fish in that version. It can be used against all the major bosses, but your mileage may vary because of like Goat and Twin Mold, and how difficult it is to get close to them to use sword beams. It is very effective against Dolwa and Georg though I can't speak for how well it would work in the 3DS version, given that every boss, except Majora, has been radically redesigned, in terms of like their weaknesses and the overall strategy you need to fight them. Now that we've gone through every major side quest, I find it interesting how much storytelling in Majora's Mask is handled by side quest characters. For example, we learned a lot more about the world, the giants, and Skull Kid even, by listening to Andrew's grandmother's stories. That being said, we still have a lot of unanswered questions. For example, the Happy Mask salesman is still a very elusive figure, like he literally disappears during the ending without any explanation, but beyond that, he also knows a lot about our masks. For example, you can go inside the clock tower and equip masks to show them to him. The only two you can equip, obviously, are the Fierce Deity's mask and the Giant's mask, because you can only use those in specific areas, but every other mask you can show to him, and he'll make a brief comment on them. He clearly knows a lot about the powers within each mask, including Majora's mask, but we never get an answer as to why he knows as much as he does. Similarly, we have the Moon Children, who show up at the end, ask a bunch of existential questions, and give us the Fierce Deity's mask. We never get an explanation for who they are, or if there's any sort of connection between them and the Happy Mask salesman, because they're very interested in masks and also have a bit of a resemblance to the Happy Mask salesman. Finally, we have the Fierce Deity's mask, which we are handed right before the boss battle, and the description heavily implies that the deity within the mask is entirely benevolent, which is also very terrifying that there's a deity that is also evil and more powerful than Majora. I fully believe that a lot of the storytelling is sort of vague because of how rushed the game was. Again, this game was developed in about a year, which is very impressive given how well the game turned out. But I actually kind of like this, oddly enough, because Majora's Mask thrives on its tone. Because there are so many scary and dark undertones to Majora's Mask's storytelling, I actually think the mysteriousness of it makes it scarier. Like, not knowing a lot about characters like the Moon Children, or the Fierce Deity, or the Happy Mask Salesman makes these characters feel a lot more unnerving and mysterious. Like, if we actually got an answer to a lot of these questions, it would take a lot of the mystery out of these characters and would actually make them less scary. So I actually don't mind the sort of vague storytelling for some parts of this game. In terms of the playthrough, I actually think it went really smoothly. Admittedly, I practiced a ton and researched a ton, which is why it went so smoothly. In hindsight, part of me wonders if it would have been more interesting if I hadn't actually researched as much and actually had to relearn a lot of elements of this game. But in general, I don't regret that decision because I ended up learning a lot about this game. I rediscovered a lot of scenes I had seen years ago and forgot about, like the alternate cutscene for stopping the moon a second time. I had seen it years ago, and when I was researching for this playthrough, I discovered that it was different and decided to show it. And there are a lot of like other details, like character schedules and things like that I forgot about, and it was fun rediscovering or learning new things about this game. This was already one of my favorite Zelda games. It is at least number 2 after Wind Waker of like traditional 3D Zelda games. But but I definitely ended up with a much deeper appreciation for it because of this playthrough and how much research I did. If I do another 3 heart run, I probably will not research as much, both to give myself less work and also to make the playthrough itself more suspenseful, and also because this was so much work, I wouldn't expect another 3 heart run anytime soon, but maybe someday in the future. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough as well, but with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for something new.